Share. Post to your profile. Share via email. Report story. Nami didn't release her grip on Luffy, or even move, just stood there holding him in a tight embrace. After a while, Luffy gave up resisting and awkwardly returned the hug. The hunk of meat lay forgotten on the floor of the balcony. Anyway, we got the poneglyphs now. In a couple of weeks we set sail and find Laugh Tale. We find the One Piece and I become king of the pirates. I reckon I'll have done right by Ace and Sabo then. You reckon Shanks will be proud? I guess I'll have to go face him sooner or later anyway, if just to return his hat. Quote. Nami desperately wanted to say of course they'd all be proud, just like his Nakama were already proud of him. Instead the words slipped out. What are your plans for the future, Luffy? Luffy pulled away and looked into her eyes again, confused. What ya mean, Nami? I just told you. Become king of the pirates. And what about when you become king of the pirates, and after that? Nami pulled out of the hug and stepped back, exasperated by his narrow-minded thinking. How do you plan to uphold that title? People are gonna have expectations of you. People are going to challenge you. Whether you like it or not, where are you going to have your base of operations? How do you plan on managing and sustaining your subordinates? What kind of countermeasures will you have in place to protect your base and your allies when threats arise? Have you even thought about what the title, King of the Pirates, means? No, of course you haven't. Why am I even bothering to ask? Baka. Luffy continued to look at her quizzically. I haven't worked out all the details, but I know so long as I have my Nakama, I will always find the strength to fight for them. Damn it, Luffy, that isn't enough. Nami growled irritably. Why couldn't he see the bigger picture? It's not enough just being strong, or just having strong allies, if you're not smart. If you don't have a plan, an endgame, a means to achieve it, and a concept of how it will affect the rest of the world, all your dreams are just wishful thinking, and she paused her rant, fearful of broaching the subject that laid heaviest on her mind, and dreading finally putting it into words. Quote. What if things change? Change? Luffy asked, genuinely curious. Nami took a deep breath in and out before she continued. What if, after you've become Pirate King, you want a family, and I don't mean our Nakama, I mean, a wife and child? How do you plan to protect them and to provide for them? Quote. Luffy didn't answer right away, but looked to the ground, for once looking like he was seriously pondering her question. When he finally looked up again, his expression wasn't as carefree as before, in fact it seemed sad. I don't know. He began slowly, solemnly, that I'd make a very good husband, or a father. Somehow, she was surprised that he seemed to give this query so much more thought than her others thus far. She was yet more surprised to think that him putting himself down as a prospective spouse and father made her feel so sad. My experience of dads has mostly been them not being there for their kids, I mean besides Vivi's, Weepy Hoshi's and Rebecca's. I never knew my dad. I didn't even know I had a dad until my grandpa blurted it out 3 years ago. Gramps for his part left me in woods. Gall D. Roger was a hero to pirates everywhere, except to Ace. Sabo's dad was a jerk. And Yasop, he admits he walked out on Usopp. What do I know about being a dad? Quote. And as for having a wife, Luffy sighed glumly. I just don't think I could make a woman happy. I know Boa Hancock wants to marry me. The Snake Empress. Nami thought, but I don't think it would work. I don't love her. Nami released the breath she hadn't realized she was holding. Wait, am I jealous? I mean, I'm grateful for all she's done for me, but I'm not in love with her, and she deserves someone who would love her with their whole heart. Is there someone you do love? The words left her mouth before she could stop them, and she didn't care anymore. He is an idiot, but he's a kind, brave, wonderful idiot. An idiot who's touched so many hearts, and maybe changed mine. Maybe he could be my idiot. In moments, they were a few feet from each other, then a few inches. Luffy's right hand raised and pressed gently against her left cheek, holding her face in place. What do you want from me, Nami? He asked cautiously, perhaps slightly scared. I want an answer, Luffy. Is there someone you do love? What if that someone loved you back? What if that someone knew you warts and all, and loved you anyway? What if that someone was right in front of you? Nami's doe eyes gazed into Luffy's onyx ones, her heart pounding, eyes flickered shut and they connected their lips. Then he pulled away. Anything you don't want me to do, please tell me, he said softly. She replied by pulling his head towards her own. Both pairs of eyes finally closed as they embraced, deepening the kiss. Her breath had a touch of sake on it, his was heavy with meat, and neither of them cared. That night, and many more over the next 2 weeks, Nami learned just how versatile powers of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, Haki, and Four Gears could be. She had finally found the right idiot for her. Where stories live. Discover now.